The other important thing that I should say in terms of us is that as much as on a personal level we care about global warming, it isn't something we use as a driver for investment. So the reason we focused on clean tech had almost nothing to do with global warming. It had everything to do with third world industrialization. So we came at this by saying, in fact, the irony is, when we created the IT revolution, we did two things. We, A, created devices that let the entire rest of the world see how we lived, i.e. television, computer screens. And then B, we handed them the tools to compete with us. Right? So you've enabled an entire planet of people by saying, I want a television, I want a nice house, I want a car, I want a private jet, whatever it is. And then you've said, and now we've given you these wonderful tools that allow you, through outsourcing, whatever, to compete with us. So you've massively accelerated the industrialization of the rest of the world. Well, the problem is, all those things they want, there just aren't enough natural resources to build everybody carbon copies of what we have. So that's not going to work. So either you got to say, only X% of the world's population is going to get the nice stuff and the rest is going to have to do without, which is not a politically appetizing concept. Or you've got to figure out, can we actually build the stuff that really matters in terms of nice things with a quantity of resources that actually allows us to do it for everybody. So that was the focus for us, is are there ways that you can produce the things we all want, energy being a huge part of it, with resources that are sufficient for all of us to share. Right? So wind and sun, tons of wind, tons of sun, way more than enough to give us all the energy we need. Very different proposition than relying upon oil, which clearly isn't enough for everybody. But that's two very different drivers. So we tend to, we've made no investments on the carbon sequestration side, we've made no investments in carbon trading, because the global warming proposition, I think, again, is one of those policy things that kind of comes and goes, and it's far less predictable than the notion that populations are going to grow, they're going to industrialize, and they're going to want access to finite resources. That's highly predictable, reliable, isn't going away. So as an investment theme for us, it's a much, much safer investment theme.